All right, we should have audio and we should have video. Fingers crossed. Welcome, everybody. It's been a few weeks since I've done a live stream, so I figured I'd go live today. We'll take some questions, hang out. Might even show you something I've been working on in the background here as well. So welcome, everybody. If there's any issues with the audio or video, just let us know and I'll address that. But it should be good. I just did a quick test. All right, welcome, everybody. We've got people here already. We've got Lefty Mike, Music Therapy. How you doing? John, welcome, mate. We've got Lincoln and Dennis. Welcome, mate. Hey, Shane, Pepsi Max today. Always Pepsi Max. You know, I ended up buying a 30-pack the other day because it was cheap. I got home and I realized I'd already bought a 24-pack a couple of days ago and I didn't realize. So there's a lot of Pepsi Max here at the moment. We've got Josh. Welcome, mate. We've got Jamal. How you doing? James. All right, cool. Pork Chop. Bill. Welcome, mate. All right, very cool. So I've got a couple of different videos coming up over the next sort of week or so. One, pretty much a bog standard video, but the other one is definitely different. So, yeah, hopefully it's a bit of fun. A little bit of a road trip video. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to start incorporating more of the Jam Night videos in as well coming up because I've been filming a few, but I've kind of nailed the equipment I need to get a good result without sacrificing anything now. So, yeah, coming up as of this weekend, moving forward, there'll be more of those live clips coming up. All right, welcome everybody. Mr. Gretch Falcon says, hey Shane, first time I made it into the live chat. Very cool. Andy, hi from Tasmania. Very cool. I've actually had two friends go there recently. I've been to Launceston many a time. It's very nice there. Very beautiful. Landon, welcome, mate. Hope you're doing well with the lockdown. Daniel from the UK, welcome, mate. All right, cool. Lots of folks here already. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to let us know. I'm going to fit in a little bit about what's coming up. We've got some new posters in the back. I was getting really bored with the posters, so I added some cheesy ones in there. I've got the Miami Connection over here, which I haven't actually seen, but I've seen so many reviews of it. I'm like, I'm finding a poster for that. So, yeah. If I could be a signature guitarist for one brand, what would it be? Yeah, man, it's hard to sort of know, but I'd probably, like, you know, it'd be great having a signature Telecaster. That would be really cool, like a Fender one, but, you know, it is what it is, man. I got my initials on the Little Crow. That's good enough for me, mate. I love that guitar. I don't play it enough, but it is a really nice instrument. But yeah, I would probably say Fender. They're probably still my favorite brand, even though I've gone over to the dark side playing humbuckers for a long time. But yeah, PRS pretty nice too, you know. But I don't know. Maybe an SE. Something affordable would be good. We've got, all right, I'm the daughter of the owner of this account. My dad plays guitar all the time. I don't know much about it, but I know that he watches your videos. Can you say hi to Trevor? G'day, Trevor. Hope you're doing well, mate. Thanks for all the support, and thanks to Trevor's daughter for letting me do the shout-out. Yeah, Vice City. Boom, there it is. So there's a few others as well. You can't see one. There's one on this side here, and there's a couple of others that you'll see in the videos coming up. It's time to mix it up. 50% music, 50% cheesy movies. Bill asks, would I gig with the Epiphone 50 standard? Oh, absolutely. Like, that thing's as good as my Japanese Tokai, which is worth about $1,000 more. Yeah, it's really, really good. I would have no hesitations playing live with it. It's one of the best, it's probably the best Epiphone guitar I've ever played. Like, if I go back sort of like 18 years, I've had an Epiphone Dot 335 that had the really nice humbuckers, had the Gibson style headstock. That thing kicked ass. That was really good. But in the most recent times, I haven't played an Epiphone better than that. So, yeah, it is really good. Like, when I go back to the shop, he said, oh, I'll crunch a price for you, see what you think. And it's like, man, I don't need another humbucker guitar. It was, yeah, really, really nice. So I can highly recommend it. What do I think of the new Josh Smith Signature Ibanez? You know what? I don't know anything about that, to be honest, so I'll need to check into it. Dude's a monster player. I don't really think of him as an Ibanez guitarist, though. So is it just another Strat? Is that what it is? I'll have to look that up in a sec. We've got Scott from the Gong, New South Wales. Welcome, mate. Let me just scroll back up here. I may have missed some stuff. All right, let me scroll down. Why are we yelling? Any lefties here? Yep, one. Yeah, there's a few, actually. I know that there's at least 3 here already. Oh, Tibor, I got your email, man. Sorry I haven't replied yet, mate. Yesterday I was kind of running around a bit, but I'll reply to you today. All the best to you too, mate. He says, Happy New Year, Shane. Wishing you Dr. Rickle live jams in front of the huge crowds for 2021. Yeah, I don't know about too many big crowds, but we're trying. No one wants to come see us play, mate, so it is what it is. Loved your 2021 guitar collection rundown, but if you had to choose one, which one would it be? I'd probably still keep my 52 Tele, just because it's like it's irreplaceable at this point. You know, you can get another Telecaster, but that thing's been through the wars, so that would be my, if I had to just play one guitar, I would keep that. It's probably still one of the most functional, and it just means a bit to me, you know, like I could replace the other one, so I'd probably still keep that. It's hard because I actually like playing other guitars more than it, but, you know, it's a great sounding guitar, it really is. So all the best to you too, mate. In the Blues, from Jamal, he says, have you thought about doing the 50s wiring on any of your humbucker guitars? T-Boy did a video. Yeah, he actually sent me an email about that. I need to have a look into it. I don't think any of my guitars really have any 50s wiring setups from memory. I don't think so. I'll need to have a look into that. Like my Tokai is a bit more of a modern, well, it was more of a modern thing until I had some mods done to it. But yeah, I haven't actually tried that on any of mine. I'm pretty certain. But George says, I love the channel, Shane. I just got a PRS SE E24. Very cool. More affordable USA PRS. It's amazing. You know, I've actually got a video coming up about that guitar. So it's not a review video, but it's a overview of the differences between that and like a really high end one. And I'm sort of in the process of putting that together. They're great guitars, really cool. They don't make lefties in those, unfortunately, or they didn't, at least when I looked. Any experience with Wolfetone pickups? I'm thinking about grabbing a couple for my Les Paul and switch to 50s wiring. No, I haven't, mate. The thing with pickups, right? You've really got to find out what it is you don't like about the ones you've got, because not always you replace pickups and they sound better. They're just different, right? So unless there's something you can't fix through EQing your amplifier differently or pedals, then you're literally going down a rabbit hole. I put about 4 or 5 sets of pickups in a Strat to try to make it sound better. I came to the conclusion it was either me or it was just that Strat, because then I got a different Strat and it sounded great. So, yeah, don't always think that pickup changing is going to solve all the problems, because it doesn't. It can just create more. So find what it is you don't like about yours, try and work that out, and then have a listen to as many videos as you can, or audio samples of the pickups you want to swap to, and see if you hear what you want to hear in those clips. But the thing is with that though, you've also got to find out, or try and find someone who plays a similar style, as well as a similar amplifier. Because if someone's playing like a Randall and you're playing a Fender, it's a useless video basically, or a useless demonstration for you. You've really got to find the right type of player and a gear combination, and that can be hard, right? So that's the problem with pickup demonstrations. They're not always helpful unless you hear a direct comparison between one and another one. Sometimes they're a bit of, it's a really big rabbit hole, man. So I wish you luck. I don't give pickup recommendations a lot of the time unless It's something that I've used, or I just teach people sort of how to think about it a little bit. All right. Heavy Britals, is it? Welcome, mate. Proteus says most of us are left-handed. Ibanez T-style. Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to look this up. Hang on, let me have a look here. Ibanez Josh Smith. Yeah, all right. Oh, it looks all right. They look pretty good. It's just another tally. Actually, it looks, you know what they kind of look like? They look a little bit like the Vola. Except I like the curved, actually they look pretty good. They're kind of growing on me. For those who can't see this, let's see if I can share this. Oh, I still haven't set that up. Sorry. All right, just type in Ibanez Josh Smith and go to images. It'll come straight up. It looks pretty cool. They look all right. Looks like roasted maple fretboard or neck. Can't see the back of the neck on the photos, but doesn't look like there's... Headstock looks pretty good. Yeah, it looks a little Dan Electro-y, the black one. I don't really like the black one, but all the other colors look good. Very cool. I'll need to see if I can get my hands on one of those at some point, because Sky Music do the Ibanez guitars. We'll see what we can do. I'm surprised I haven't heard about it. Yeah, I don't, you know, over the last few weeks, I've sort of had a bit of time off, and I haven't really been that overly interested in sort of like keeping my head in the gear. I'm sort of more focused on getting good tones and having to play. Especially last week, I put together a new pedalboard specifically to try to make my Strat sound at its best, and I think I might have nailed it. So yeah, I don't, you might be surprised, I don't look at a lot of other channels unless it's a sort of informative video when it comes to gear. Andy Martin I watch Robert Baker, I watch a number of different channels, but I don't watch like gear-centric stuff because I'm always around it. That's, to detach from it has been great. So yeah, I don't watch NAMM stuff, I don't watch any of that. I'm not that... The problem I have with a lot of the next year's gear is it makes everybody feel like the gear they've already got is junk, and it isn't. Guitars can last 30 years or more if you take care of them, right? So I kind of feel like, yeah, I don't want to get behind the hype of next year stuff. And what really triggered me over the edge with that was when, you know, Marshall released those original, what were they called? The original Marshall amps or whatever they were called. And I heard all the hype about why I shouldn't have bought a DSL 40. Everybody in the comments, oh, you should have waited, you should have waited, you should have waited. And then they ended up coming out and they were crap. So, yeah, I don't really get behind a lot of that stuff. I wait till I get my hands on stuff. That's kind of how I work. I try to, anyway. I'm not that interested in, like, soaking in all the new gear every year. It's just too much, and it doesn't change your playing. It's fun, but it doesn't change your playing. All right. Hey, Amanda, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Hutch, welcome back, mate. Hope you're going good. Going good, I should say. All right, I need some caffeine. Let's fire this one up. I've got a new one today. It's called the Ultra Rosa. These have less caffeine in them, I think, than a coffee, but I don't like coffee. $2,500. I take it that's US dollars. Jeez. Yeah, the Ibanez Prestige, it's like $3,000 here. That's one of the best guitars I've ever played. So I gotta say that is really, really good. But yeah, it's pretty expensive for a Japanese-made instrument. I mean, great instrument, but it's about $500. Oh, I think it's more than that. I think it's like $3,500 here. I could be wrong, but it's expensive. If it was like $2,750 or $2,500, I'd be probably on board with it. Oh, that's even pushing it. 25 done. I didn't swap out the Knopfler poster, did I? So the Knopfler poster has come down, and the reason why there's a couple of reasons. I had a mix of matte finish ones, which are most of these now, and a couple of really high gloss ones. The high gloss ones are a nightmare. They just reflect the light back to the camera, and it was distracting. So I'm in the process of like moving them across. One of the things I knew someone would probably ask that, so I'm going to find myself a really great Knopfler one and get it laminated. But the day when I got these other ones done, I couldn't find one that I liked enough, and I didn't like the last one that much in terms of the picture. So I'll see what we can do. I'm looking for a really 80s one. If I can find an 80s or sort of 90s one of Knopfler playing live, done. But yeah, he's like, you know, my top 3 guitarists of all time. I can't really. He's probably close to. They're all equal first, basically 3 guys. So, greetings from North Carolina. I don't need another guitar, but been looking at the PRS SE Hollow for more versatility for gigging, or the Harley Benton copy. Yeah, they're both good, man. Harley Bentons save you a bunch of money, and they don't really feel that much different. They're just quite a bit heavier, at least in terms of the ones that I've picked up. I haven't picked up I don't think I've picked up a lot of the hollow body ones, but I picked up the solid body PRS SEs and all that style, and they do weigh a little bit more, but they're great, man. They're so good. Like, I played my PRS SE out. I played the Harley Benton CST24. There's next to no difference other than the tremolo system is set up better out of the box on the PRS. But all you have to do is loosen the strings up on the loosen the springs up on the Harley Benton. You're good to go. You probably don't have the opportunity to play them both either. But you can't really go too far wrong with the PRS SE stuff. I don't think the Indonesian ones are quite as good as they were before. That's just my opinion. They feel different. The neck doesn't feel as premium, and neither does the electronics. So, if you can find a Korean one, I would probably say go for that. I know that sounds about as cliche as it gets, but it's the one that I borrowed. It was unplayable. The Ibanez, the Indonesian one, I should say, the PRS SE. I'm reading Ibanez here. Buzz, thanks, man. Far out. Nice guitar day for me today, catching you live for the first time in a while, and just now unboxed the Tone King Imperial. Very nice. Poor reviews on the custom Celestion. Hang on. Sorry, let me try that again. Poor reviews on the custom Celestion, so might swap it out for a Swamp Thing after reading your site on the DRs. So, man, cool amp, and well, thank you, by the way, Buzz. Far out, man. Swamp Things are great for Fender amps or anything voiced like that American sort of style. You get all the low end, you get all the top end. You don't get as punchy of a sort of like a mid-range as you would with other speakers, but it retains the sort of vibe of the amp tone. That's probably what you're going for. And the loud speakers, man, they're so good. Another one I can recommend really as well is the Red, White, and Blues. Is another one that's kind of creeping up on my list. I'm also looking to find one of those and do a good review on it. Like, I've tested them before with my friend Brian. He had a what we used to call a tone cave. He had it full of speakers and amp cabs and stuff. But that's a really great match for the Blues Deluxe as well. So I'm thinking maybe I'll try and find one of those because they're on sale at the moment. I'm thinking, I might have to just pull the trigger on one. But, mate, well done. Congrats. And, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. If you have any questions about that stuff, man, just let us know. I'll keep an eye on the chat here. We got Silver. CJ says hello from the UK. You're one of my favorite guitar YouTubers. Thanks, mate. Appreciate that. What do I think about stainless steel frets? Great. Once you do it, you'll never go back. It's really, really good. Just get it done if you need new frets, and there's no trade-offs other than they'll last 10 times longer. And never go crusty. It's great. Get it done properly, though, if you're going to get it done. Take it somewhere that know what they're doing. Joyo BanTamp or Peavey Bandit? Well, two completely different amps. Peavey Bandit's loud enough to gig with, the BanTamps aren't. So yeah, if you just want a home practice amp, get a BanTamp. They're really cool. Chuck a delay pedal in the effects loop or something. Oh, John, he just says, I just clicked buy it now on a half-priced damaged artist guitar Strat, wiring issues. I really only wanted it to be a body donor for a great right-handed Esquire neck I have. Okay, very cool. So you do the upside-down Jimi Hendrix thing. Is that right? Yeah. The project guitars are cool. I don't do enough of that stuff. I always feel like it's going to take me ages to get that kind of thing done. So, like the electronic side of it. I'm good at replacing stuff because I can see how things are wired in. And I've built a couple of pedals, so I know how to solder properly and all that kind of thing now, finally, after years. But, yeah, starting from scratch, it would be pretty time-consuming. One day I want to actually... I'm good with spray cans. And no, not from graffiti or anything like that, but I've done some furniture and a few other things with them over the years, and I'd like to try to, spray a body and actually have it all done, paint it myself and coat it and all that kind of thing. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Hang on, let me just scroll back up here. All right. That's all right. Sorry, I thought I missed something. All right, we got music therapy. Sorry if I've scrolled back up too far. Doing well. Hope you're doing well. Louise says, hi Shane, I want to buy a new amp with spring reverb for home use and for small gigs. I love the Princeton Reverb 65 for recording. Has the Princeton got enough volume for small clubs? It should do. It should do like small to medium rooms at moderate volumes. As long as you don't play with a drummer that's going to be like way louder than everybody all of the time, then you're going to be fine. It'll do like cafe gigs, small. And I don't mean like we call cafe gigs like low volume here, but you can also get loud in some of them as well. But yeah, they're pretty loud. I would say see how you go. If it's not enough, you could always go up to like a Blues Junior, which will give you more because the speaker's bigger. So yeah, most of the Princetons have the 10-inch speaker, whereas yeah, you'll probably find like the 12 will just inherently give you more oomph, being that you're just pushing more wind, the physics thing. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Like my Artist Tweed Tone has a bigger box than the Blues Junior and a bigger speaker, like it's a 12-inch speaker, and it throws so much wind for 20 watts. So yeah, 15 to 20 would be enough for most small places for most people. But if you're playing with a PA system, man, you could always mic up, right? And just have the mix towards you with your amp. Set your amp up so you can hear it fine and put a mic in front of it. You might get away with that too. But yeah, if you want to just play loud and acoustic, acoustic meaning like without any microphones, then yeah, you kind of 15. The Blues Junior would be a better choice than the Princeton in that regard. If you've got one with a 10-inch speaker, but they're pretty loud, right? So yeah, crank them up. We've got Todd from Nova Scotia. Welcome, mate. Oh man, hang on, we've got super chats coming out everywhere. Thank you, Bill. Have you thought about buying the double Esquire? I have. It completely unnecessary purchase. I'm trying to save at the moment, man, and it's it's one of those things that I've got two great Telecasters. I could probably turn my and thank you for, by the way, mate, far out. I could probably turn my American original one into a Esquire if I wanted to with the wiring. But yeah, man, I think that guitar in Australia is like $4,500 somewhere around there. So I can't justify that, man. For me, it's hard for me to spend more than $2,500 in Australia on a guitar. It really is. That's starting to get to the point where I'm like, is this just? Yeah, it's hard for me to justify. if I was gigging more, like if I was playing, not that I make money from playing live, right? I don't rely on that whatsoever, but I would need to really be playing a lot more to justify a guitar like that for me personally. Being that I've already got a number of different Tallies and T-style electric guitars, it is such a nice instrument. If anyone didn't see that double Esquire video review that I did, yeah, the Fender double Esquire, it's like a Telecaster with this blend control on it, so you can kind of blend the tones between each of the pickups and all that. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's a high-end guitar that played and sounded beautiful, but again, super expensive. Paul, thank you, mate. He says, thoughts on the Celestion Neodymium speakers, looking at them for my Katana to make my 2x12 cab lighter. I've got good and bad things to say about the Neodymium speakers. Usually they sound great, but if you buy one that's like a creamback, they don't sound as good as the actual creamback with a big magnet. But the trade-off is you still get a great tone, and they're much, much lighter. So if weights are concerned, go for them. I don't think you'll be too disappointed. When we compared the Tonka versus the Tonka Lite, which is the Neodymium one, it wasn't even close. Like the like the old school technology magnet had way more headroom, like it didn't break up whatsoever, and it was so loud and punchy, and we're actually quite shocked. We both had exactly the same amplifier. We both had, I think, what was it that we had them in? I think it was the Blues Deluxe amps at that point, or something. I can't remember, but we ended up doing a switcheroo with the cables. And yeah, it was like, oh, there is a huge difference between Neodymiums and their, like, the original kind of speaker. But I don't really think that it's that big of a deal. They both sound good. They're just very different. So, yeah, I would say most of them are pretty usable. Just double check you're buying one that has enough output to match your amplifier in the same ohms, obviously. But yeah, some of them are less. I think they're like some. I could be wrong, but I think some of them are like, say, 60 watts, whereas the actual old school speaker one might be 80. So you just got to double check all the specs. But generally pretty good. If you want to make the amp even lighter, it's a good choice. But I really feel like one of the things Boss get right, they put quality speakers in their amps. So yeah, you might go, oh, I kind of like the other one better. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with those stock speakers. Sorry, let me just scroll back up. The Imperial's lead is more of a tweed based. So if the Swamp Thing is good for a Blues Deluxe, it might be the... okay, so sometimes with... if it's a traditionally voiced tweed amp, it's going to have a lot of mids. And the speakers they usually throw in those kind of amps have... they kind of enhance that. So that's interesting. Yeah, well... Let me have a think about that buzzer. Yeah, some of the Celestions sort of work better in those kind of situations sometimes. Swamp Thing is more of your... Look at... While mine's a tweed amp, it's not your tweed sound. In my opinion, it's a bit more of a modern, clean tone. It does have that boosted sort of mid-range, but it's more of an upper mids. Like if you compare that to, say, the Clapton Tremolux, the Tremolux has this really fat sound, and I think a big part of that is the Celestion speaker that they use. So I would almost be inclined maybe to find... Well, I'd have to hear it to know exactly what it does. But yeah, trust your ear too, man. If you want it to sound bigger and have less speaker distortion, then the Swamp Thing's the way to go. But yeah, you might be looking for something with a bit more mids. Let me just double check something. Tone Imperial tweed. Yeah, these are cool amps, man. Very cool. want to see what speaker there is in there. I'll just have a quick look here because I just want to see what they've actually put in there. These amps always look good. Oh, it's got one of their... It doesn't really... It just says custom speaker. 30 watts RMS. So I would almost probably say if that speaker is rated at 30 watts, it's not going to have that much headroom. So if you want the amp to stay cleaner and longer, then do the Swamp Thing. Yeah. Texas Heat might give you a bit more of a fat sort of sound, but it might also take away some of that treble. So I don't know if that's the right choice either. Let me just scroll up. Sorry, guys. Far out. Pete says, Shane, you were correct about guitars. I still use my 89 American Fender Stratocaster. It's no, is it Case Queen? Is that how you say that? It's a work... Oh, yeah, all right. It's a workhorse. Man, I still... My number one after 32 years. Very cool. Well, that's the thing, man. Like, there's... How much... Seriously, like, ask yourself the... Not you, personally, but everybody ask yourself the question, how much have guitars really changed in the last sort of 10 years? And, like, have they improved that much? There's a lot of gimmicks. I'm not talking about gimmicks. I'm talking about... Everyone wants an old guitar, or they aspire to get an older guitar because older guitars are cool. And then all the companies re-release older or new versions of older guitars every single year. So you kind of got to ask yourself, like, what's the innovation? A lot of it is just the hype train. Hey, we got Roberto Baker's here. Robert, hope you're doing well, man. Man, I haven't done a live stream probably... It's got to be close to a couple of weeks now. I'm getting a... Oh, man. Far out. What's with the super chats? Come on, guys. Your boy, thank you, man. Thanks. You don't have to do that. Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you. I'll put it into the double Esquire fund. Now that Robert's here, he's bound to start enabling me even more. Actually, funny thing is, I don't know if I saw that last time I was at the shop. So, I wonder if it's sold. I'll have to go down and check it out. Pete Brown, thank you, man. Hope you're doing well. Sorry if I missed your question. Feel free to ask it again. Just add in the blues me here. I'm losing track of the... I'm losing track of the comments. Which Fender amp would you want Fender to give the Tonemaster treatment? Super Reverb, 100%. They released a Super Reverb, I'd buy it. I'd actually go out and buy it, unless they want to send one out. But yeah, that would be the one that, yeah, I think could be just, it would be fantastic. It would be light. It would be loud enough to gig with. It would have that beautiful, like, reverb sound. It would, yeah, I think that would be... I don't see the point in... I didn't actually even see really the point in the deluxe reverb. I always felt like the bigger the amp, the better that would be. You know, you could get a big amp and turn it down rather than... and make it lighter than actually having to carry around just a small amp that's not that heavy anyway. All right, did I miss another super chat here? Far out, Matty. Man, thank you. Matty K USA, Shane, great to be able to hang out a bit again, mate. Looking good, you rascal. Thanks, mate. My best to Dr. Rick. Thank you, mate. I appreciate that. I'll pass that along. I haven't spoken to Rick in about a week, so I need to give him a call. But yeah, thank you. Got Hannah here as well. Welcome. Yeah, thanks everyone for the support. Far out. Chat is going crazy here today, and if I've missed your question or comment, I apologize. Any plans to review the Line 6 Power Cab? You know, it's a brand I don't see much of where I live. So the short answer would be no, only because the shop I borrow a lot of stuff from don't carry Line 6. Or at least I don't think they do. I don't think I've ever seen any of their stuff in there. But yeah, as of right now, no. No, I don't think so. Oh, Jose, thank you, man, for the Australian taco fun. Muchos gracias. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Thank you. Far out. You guys are crazy. Thank you. In a good way. Always good crazy, not bad crazy. All right. Let me just scroll back up here and see if I can get through some of the... Where was I? Somewhere around here. All right, here we go. What camera do you use again? This one's a Panasonic GH5S. I only got this like about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. No, it was late November I got this, and yeah, I didn't really use it on this channel up until this year, I think. But yeah, and that's the GH5. But we don't need that camera. Yeah, Panasonic stuff is good. You know, like there's a lot of other brands that will give me more separation between the background, all that kind of stuff. But these are really functional. Unlimited recording time. They do everything that I need it to do. And for YouTube, it's fine. It's perfect. You know, I've shot commercial jobs on, not on the GH5S, but on the GH5. So let me scroll down. I actually have a Fuji here at the moment. It's pretty cool. It's online. We've got Peter C. He says, "Hi Shane, she's from Canada, looking at purchasing my first Telecaster. What should I be looking for? I presently play a Les Paul Tribute." So it just depends on how much you want to spend, Peter, but I did a video called The Best Telecaster Alternatives, so you can check that video out. It basically covers what I think are the best alternatives to spending the money on a US American Tele. But if you can afford to get one of those, just get one. I've got a 50s original one. They're great. If you don't want to spend that kind of money, the Player Series will definitely get you a guitar that you can play live and will stand the test of time. The only sacrifice between a lot of the models, well, the pickup quality does change as well. So the more you spend on a Fender, for example, the better the pickups actually are. It is subjective, but to most people's ear, you hear a difference in the levels up, but it's mostly the hardware, or I should say the electronics, so the switches and all that kind of stuff. The quality there changes as well. But there's nothing wrong with the Player Series stuff. I think it's really good. But check out my video. It's like the best Tele alternatives. It'll come straight up. Amanda, oh, that's not to me. That's all right. Gibson had the Robo tuners. That's innovation. Yeah, well, there you go. That's exactly what I was talking about. A gimmick crap. Oh, hang on. Did I miss another super chat here? I hope I didn't miss a super chat. Sorry if I... Oh, Peter. Here it is. I'm from the Hunter Valley. Love the vids. Thanks, Peter. Appreciate that, mate. Thank you for the support. Yeah, this month I've been taking it a little bit more easy in terms of my output. November and December kind of ran me into the ground a bit, doing all of it on my own. So, yeah, this month was a bit more about sort of getting some balance back, getting back into the exercise, hitting the weights again, all that kind of stuff, and losing the lockdown gut, and just eating better and doing other stuff. But also, still got 2 or 3 videos a week. That's enough. I'm happy with that for at least this month. But yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate the kind words. Thank you. Yeah, I would like to schedule more of these live streams in. It's just, yeah, some days just get away from you. It's like, I'll do it today. And then it's like 10 p.m. and I'm like, I can't do it. I'm too tired. I think the morning time is the best, actually. Like, I can get on around 10:30, finish by 11:30 or 12 or something like that, my time. It works well for most of the audience, too. Except for people in England, I think. But anyway. The amp is supposed to have too much treble when cranked. Oh, well, there you go. The Texas Heat might be the perfect solution. That or the Red, White, and Blues also rolls out a little bit of that. but the Texas Heat will give you the mids. It'll give you the fattest, thickest tone, man. Those speakers rock buzz. So I can highly... That's the best fix for a really bright amp. If you can't get rid of it, like I couldn't with my Marshall. And if you're a rock player, you'll like that brightness. But yeah, the Texas Heat's really good. The great thing about it too, if it's not right, that speaker will sell easily. You can resell it, used for a good amount of money. So the great thing about Eminence speakers over a lot of the other brands, you put them in, they'll sound great straight away. Whatever you get when you first put them in is what the speaker will sound like. I don't think mine have changed over the years. They always sound great straight away. So War Machine says, might build a variation of a Nashville Tally using a 3-way switch and a blend knob to fully control the middle pickup. I hate the 5-way switches. Good idea, or is there better ideas for 3 pickup Tally? Yeah, I mean, look, you could do the blend knob thing. Only thing is that might catch you from time to time. You might forget. You've got it blended in one way and wondering what's going wrong with your tone. Well, at least that's how I would probably, it would probably happen to me like that. But, I mean, all you really need to do, all I would do probably is just make the Tally so you can also get middle. I know that's what Nashville Tallies are, but do you need any other really combinations other than neck and bridge together? That would be yeah. So hang on. 3 pickup Tally. So you're looking for the Strat positions as well? Is that what you're looking for? So sorry, bridge and middle might be kind of fun for that sort of Stratty stuff, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the blend controls work really well if they're put in right. Like I love that about the double Esquire. Sorry, I'm scrolling down here. Let's. How do I find the Gibson? Oh, sorry. What was the? How do I find the Gibson Les Paul Tribute in combination with the HX Stomp? I haven't tried those before, mate. Sorry. I've tried a Les Paul's Tribute. I've owned a few of them, but HX Stomp I've not used. Thoughts on Filtertrons? Great pickups. Yeah, different kind of vibe. I really like them. I always thought they were only for rockabilly players, but you can kind of get a great unique sound out of them. So yeah. Thank you, Matty K. Appreciate that, mate. Greetings from Winnipeg. Your channel is the best. Thank you. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate that, mate. Hope you're doing well. Your opinion on 15-inch speakers for Peavey Delta Blues? Yeah, 15-inch speakers are hard to... I haven't tried enough of them. I've only really tried a couple, and there's not many out there. So, yeah, the one that everybody claims is the best is the Weber. 15-inch Weber speaker. Nearly everybody says that one is the best one. I'm yet to hear it in a Delta Blues, though. So, yeah, I would recommend probably trying to find some sort of, videos or clips that kind of showcase the difference. I don't mind the stock Peavey speaker. I think it's not bad, or at least it was pretty good in the USA made ones. I haven't tried the Chinese made ones. Not because I don't really want to, I just haven't tried it. Australia seems like such a large market. Weird that some products aren't available there. Yeah, it's the population thing. Like California, I think, has more people in it than like Australia does. So it puts it into perspective. We're like I think we're under 30 million here, like probably 27 or so. Thanks again, Peter. Appreciate that super chat, mate. Thank you. Oh, did we get another one? Did I miss one? Oh, Krager, I'm sorry, man. Far out. If you get a chance, would you review the new Vibro Champ and Pro Reverb reissues? The Pro has one channel removed and a lighter cab and speaker and 40 watts to make it appealing at only £32. How do they get pounds from LBS? I always wondered that. Is there something I'm missing there? Like, the only letter in there is the S that makes sense. I don't know. It probably goes back to the 1400s or something. Yes, absolutely, mate. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. Yep. I'm positive Sky Music will get all the Fender stuff. They always do. So anytime I see it in there, I go down, I pick it up, I take it home, I make some videos, I drop it back. Or, yeah. Or I buy it. But generally, that's how that works. Yeah, Vibro Champ would be cool. Yeah, I haven't tried the Pro Reverb amps in ages. They're really cool. They're the 210s, is that right? 210s, the Pro Reverb? But yeah, thanks again, mate. Sorry I missed your super chat there. I'm flying. I'm still stuck up the chat a little bit. Music therapy. Thank you, man. Hey, if I've missed anything here, just add in the Blues Me, because I don't mean to miss these. Far out. What I'm looking at is different. I'm looking at a different screen here, so I need some metal chain in my life. This 2021. I need some metal chain in my life. Will it ever happen again? Metal chain. You're going to have to explain to the audience what that is, and to this old guy. Thanks for all the info on the ATEM Mini Pro. Hey, no worries, man. You know, they are great. I bought one and sold it within a few days because it had too many problems, and then they fixed it, pretty much all the issues with it. It's fantastic. I'm using an ATEM Mini Standard in this room, and from my other channel I use the Pro, and it's fantastic. So, yeah, it's how I can switch cameras, do all that kind of stuff. And bring a computer into it, which is my next goal in here. I want to actually be able to set up I might get a little little computer that I can just HDMI out of that into one of these. So that would be super cool. Then I can share the desktop easy. That's the goal. But yeah, they're great. I don't think you'll regret buying one of those. Man, it'd be great if I could talk today. Far out. Let me just quickly do a scroll in case I missed anything here. Let me just do this quickly. All right, I think I'm caught up. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you for all the questions. All about guitars. Man, looks like I had one more I didn't see. It's not popping up at the top of my chat here. It's weird. Have I tried the Epiphone Wilshire 66? It's so ugly, but it sounds so good. That's like what people think of those Mac Mull guitars. You know, everyone gives them grief because of the headstock. I actually kind of like them. It all comes down to the tone in the end. I'm pretty sure Sky Music has these, but there's no lefties. I'm gonna have to get a right-handed player local to me to help me do some of these videos, because I could be putting out, 10 times the amount of videos per year, or 10 times more guitars, I should say, per year, having a great right-handed player that I could just go, hey, you want to help do this? So, yeah. What's one of my big guitar goals this year? To play live as often as I can and to get my flow back. And to also improve on it. But one of the things I'd love to try to work out, I sent Robert a Papa Chubby clip the other day, and it was this double time sort of run. It's almost like he's playing like a minor pentatonic scale. So it wasn't like it was anything too elaborate, but it's the picking technique I want to get down. I want to learn how to do that. I want to try and make that sound and feel good. I've been trying it for like 7 years and on and off, like not all of the time. I probably would have worked it out, but it's one of those things where I need to have someone break it down so I understand it. So that's one of my goals, mate. I'll keep an eye out on your channel. But all about guitars. Look, I'll see what I can do about that Epiphone Wilshire guitar. Yeah, they look cool. I've just got to find someone who's interested in being ridiculed as soon as we upload a video. You introduce anyone new on the channel and it's like, who's this guy? People sometimes don't like that very much, but I'll see what I can do. Have I tried the sneaky amps or the Dumble amps for the Katana? No, I don't have mine anymore. I bought it to compare it against the Fender GTX 100, and then I sold them both. Not straight away. It was probably, I don't know, 2 months after. Stick with the blue V's. Yeah, they didn't have one sale. I was spewing. So thanks again, mate. Oh, Grumpy Mike, thank you, mate. I just added a second camera for my channel, but I don't do live shows. Would an ATEM Mini still be useful? Yeah, you can stream. You're probably wasting your money if you're going to only use one camera. Get something called a Camlink 4K. I'll type it in. It's just a USB device. You can plug the HDMI out of your camera straight into that, and then that goes to the web. And you don't have to worry about all the switching and stuff. And if you ever need a second one, you can. If you've got a Mac, you can plug 2 of them in, and then use 2 cameras that way. So yeah, no is the quick answer. Unless you want to be able to share your computer screen, you can do that with OBS as well. But the ATEM is basically 4 HDMI ins, and it's also got analog inputs, which I don't know if that's going to be handy for you or not. So you got full audio mixing capabilities as well as video mixing capabilities, picture-in-picture, all that kind of stuff. So, but for one camera, you won't need any of that. Just get the Camlink 4K. And thank you, by the way, Grumpy Mike. Far out. I like your picture too. Did that change recently? It looks different. Have I seen the new hemp greenback Celestiana? Metal Shane. Gotcha. Sorry, man. Using voice to text. Hemp greenback. No. I'm going to have to look into that. Let me make a note of that because I'll forget otherwise. Oh, hang on. Let's do this. Speakers. Oh, I'll just type gear. Hemp greenback. I used to have a hemp speaker in my... What amp was it? Can't remember what it was called. Crate V30 maybe? It was a Tone Tubby speaker. Great speaker. There's a really underrated speaker that they're hard to find. They're out of San Francisco. Tone Tubby. Great speakers. That's probably why they made a hemp. It's like everyone's... Anyway, save that for another time. All about guitars. What are you doing, man? Thank you for the super chats. I feel bad. I believe a left-handed can play the Wilshire 66 just with little adjustments. That guitars have double cuts. Oh, you're right. I probably could. The only problem is swinging a guitar upside down that isn't mine and restringing it. I don't like doing that. I don't like messing with stuff I've got on loan. I feel like, yeah, it would be... I'll see what I can do. If it looks like it can... If I can kind of get away with it, I'll try it. But yeah, usually I don't like messing with stuff that, I don't own like that. Then having to restring it as well, it's a bit of a pain. But we'll see how we go. I might go down there again on maybe tomorrow or the next day or something. So, any chance of you reviewing the new Supro Delta Blues, King? So they just literally ripped off the name of the Peavey amp. That's hilarious. Supro is another brand I don't have access to, unfortunately. There's not many shops that sell them. So, I don't know why. Maybe they're just too heavy or something. But I love their amps. I think they're some of the best I've heard. The Royal Reverb and their Rhythm Master are 2 of the best sounding amplifiers you'll ever play. You just need a forklift to get them in the car. They're just ridiculously heavy. So all about guitars. I'll see what I can do, mate. I'll ask them if they don't mind me doing that. I wouldn't do it if I didn't get permission to do it, because the stuff that most of what you see is always on loan. So I take it out of a box normally, or if it was on the shelf, I get it back in the box, and then I like to sort of... The less problems that could go wrong with something, the better. Even though it is just changing the strings, you don't want to sort of wear the nut down or do anything strange. Yeah, Landon got a Camlink 4K. It's super simple and works. Yeah, they're great. They're really, really good. Blue V sounds like a nice color for a guitar that shape. Yeah, well, the blue Vs are the best. I'm used to like the white ones of these the best, but not anymore. The blue Vs are ridiculous. Marcus says, have I ever used or reviewed the Harley Benton G212 Vintage 212 cabinet, Celestion Vintage 30s? No, but I've reviewed the Artist Guitars one, which I'm under the impression is probably identical. And it was great. It was heavy, but it was great. So, yeah, I always think Vintage 30s sound better when there's two of them. I don't really like one of them on their own. It's like a greenback. Greenbacks always sound better with more than one, in my opinion. The traditional greenbacks, they just don't have enough oomph in a single 12 configuration on the most part. There's some amps they work really well in, and I'm not talking about the 10-inch greenbacks, just the 12s, because the 10-inch ones are pretty good. But yeah, I would kind of say it's going to sound great. The speakers are good. You know, and the reason why they're far less expensive now is because Celestions are making their speakers in China. How do I find left-handed gear? I've been to a lot of left-handed guitar shops, or a couple anyway. I've been lucky enough to travel in a lot of places, and I just look for it online. I try to find places that stock it. I might be looking for something in particular, and just through Google searches, a lot of stuff I learn about things or whatever, I just, you know, dive in and try and find as much info as I can. Sorry, let me scroll back. What time we got? All right, we'll go for a little bit longer here. I have to look into those tone tubbies. They're great, man. They're not far from where I used to stay while I was there. I'm pretty sure where they're based. Yeah, I never got a chance to go to their factory or whatever, but yeah, the tone tubby speakers are some of the best. They're like pretty premium speakers, but they're worth it. Not all of them are hemp manufactured ones, but the ones that are, they're just really good. You know, I think in Clapton's main amp for a long time, he was playing a Cornell. I think he had tone tubbies in that. Not that that's like the definitive tone guide or anything, but just as a point of example, there's pros using it. Just watched Trogly's unbox 5 Epiphones. One was playable out of the box. Price they ask, you think they'd be set up correctly? It's kind of strange because I unboxed 3 and they were all fine out of the box. So I don't know, man. Maybe they were hanging on a wall for 3 months or something. Maybe they, yeah, who knows? I think it probably also depends on where you're buying them from. You know, like what are the shops doing with them, if anything. But the ones that I've tried were fantastic. I'm under no obligation to say that they were good. If they were crap, I would have said something. But they all played really, really well. That SG, man, was... I don't really like SGs inherently, but it was good. It's really good. Next time you get to... next time you get to lefties... I think that's supposed to say next time you get to Jerry's Lefties in Florida, let me know. I'll buy you dinner. All right, cool, man. That's all right. I'll shout you for all the support, mate. All good. Yeah, I was supposed to get there last year. Hopefully, look, I don't really see travel opening up this year. I would like to hope that it does, but I'm not holding my breath for it. So I'm kind of, yeah. We'll see how that all goes. Hopefully, it does at some point. I'd love to do. You know, my plan for last year was to bring you a completely new series of videos while I was away, Yeah, it didn't end up happening, unfortunately. But yeah, I still want to do this, so hang in there. Trogly Austin can be a little critical. Yeah, maybe, you know, it gets discussion going, right? The more comments are on a video, the better they get pushed, all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I don't know. I'm not saying he's not being disingenuous or anything, but yeah, I don't know. I don't watch much of his stuff. For me, like, unboxing guitars and then flipping them isn't that exciting. I'd rather play them. What do you think about the psychology behind buying gear? Is there ever an end? There is. When you realize, like, it almost doesn't matter what you end up buying, you should be able to get a great sound out of it. You get to a point where you can pick up any guitar and it's pretty much going to sound the same, or plug into any amp, and well, amps are different, but generally, like, to plug into one good amplifier and then plug into another good amplifier, you should be able to make it work. So there's less, it's far less, like, look at Robert Baker, right? We could give that guy a 2-string Harley Benton with a bent neck and he'd be shredding on it. So, you know, it comes down to what the person's doing with it and what their attack's like on the guitar, and it takes a while to get to that spot, but also there's a journey about trying to find the sounds that you love. And I've been on that for a long time, but I know what I like now. So for me, it's more about making the most out of what I got. I'm far less interested in buying new gear. It could be different for me too, because I get to test a lot of stuff. But right now I'm like, you know what I want to do? I want to make my Strat sound as good as I can. That's my goal. Get fluent playing the Strat again. Just get to the point where it's easy. And Strats fight you more. And I know when I'm playing well, Stratocasters are easier to play. So easier, not easier than a Les Paul, but they become easy to play is what I'm getting at. I always find like they're an easy rhythm guitar, Strats and Tallys and all that kind of stuff. But the lead, if you've been playing like a PRS, or you've been playing a Les Paul, or anything with a different scale length, it's generally easier to get those big bends where you got to fight more on a Strat. So, yeah, there's, in terms of, what was the question again? I've kind of went on a tangent. You're talking about like the buying journey, basically. So I feel like I've owned and bought enough stuff that I'm pretty content with what I've got. For me now, it's more about wanting to play as much as I can live or whatever. Just, you know, improving my chops and writing better songs for the channel. I get a kick out of that. I'm going to do some live stuff coming up with a few of the guys too, where we're here recording some stuff, just jamming in the room. So, not in this room, in my other room. But, yeah, don't. It's really easy to obsess about gear. I did that for so long. Something to give you the edge. You know, that's part of that whole psychology. You think, if I get this, it might give me the edge. But it doesn't always do that, you know. Like, it's sometimes it does, but most of the time, if you're playing well, it's not going to make a huge difference. Pedals can, I think, make the biggest change to your tone instantly, or you'll end up just dialing it in to be the same as what you've already got. Yeah, so it's an interesting discussion. Why do Fender only have 2 tube heads and offer like 29 tube combos? I think the thing with that is that no one really wants to buy heads anymore. It's probably a sales thing. A lot of their heads don't have reverb, like they don't have reverb on their Supersonic 60. The one that they had, the Supersonic 100, had it, but it weighed a ton. And then you've got to cart that thing around and a 2x12 or whatever the cabinet is, and they don't sell well. Like, I saw one of those at a shop for months, right after it was discontinued. I saw one, it was probably 2 years after they stopped making the Supersonic 60s heads. There was still one in a shop, because they're just really heavy. And you got to hook it up, you know, it's just a practicality thing. So I think it's kind of changed where maybe the sales figures are telling them that it's a waste of their time. Combos are just really easy. Yeah. It just could be that. I know a lot of guys that still play head and boxes, but they're older amps generally. They're not like new ones. So, thoughts on the 57 Champ? Fun little amp. I just want to make sure this is the tweed one, right? 57 Champ. Yeah. They're expensive, but they're good fun. Yeah, I think they're pretty cool. I'm not much of a... I prefer to buy an amp that has reverb if I can, just for me personally. But yeah, they're good fun. If you're into that kind of tone, you'll get a kick out of it. Yeah, international travel may take 12 months. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm expecting. I don't expect to be really going anywhere this year, but it is what it is. I'll just do other stuff until then. Jeff says, Shane, sometimes being a lefty is a pain, but I think it's cool having less choice. In-store means I have no hang-ups about buying online. I wish I could work as a can opener. Okay. Yeah, I think that's the other thing for me too. It's probably a bit different. Like, I've played most of the lefties that you can find. So yeah, I go to a guitar shop. It's funny how my brain works. I see a store full of guitars and I pay no attention to 95% of them because they're all right-handed. So yeah, maybe that's part of it. It's probably worse for righties, being that there's a million different options. Because I already know, like, there's Fender didn't release these, Gibson didn't release that left-hander. You know, there's always that sort of stuff. So Flying Pickle says, I'm with you unless I want to do way more music this year unless messing around with the studio gear. Yeah, well, that's it. I took my Kemper off the desk. I was going to sell it. It used to be here. It's in a box in my cupboard. I'm going to see how I feel about that. I was kind of like, that's just more stuff to fiddle with. It's great for certain things, especially doing live streams. I can plug it in and just get a good tone, but I don't know if it's worth keeping just for that. I feel like I'm spending more time working on great tracks for the channel. I've spent a good few days now coming up with better jams, you know, just stuff that works really well. Like the one for the New X pedal video took me a while to put together, but it's great having something that, you know, goes somewhere and has parts and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's my challenge for this year, just to put a bit more time into the musicality. Mark May. No, I don't know who that is. Fat Philosopher, take it easy, man. Thanks, man. I'm looking for only one guitar now. 89 Les Paul Custom Light in Sunset Metallic. Very cool. My buying days are otherwise over. Yeah. Believe that. AC10 over Blues Junior. AC10s are really good. Yeah. Loud little amps. Great little amps. The best hair on YouTube, Robert Baker. Yeah. We should do a fundraiser, Robert, for something. I'll grow a mullet and we'll shave your head. What about that? There's a good, we can do that. We'll do a fundraiser and donate it to something. That'd be hilarious. I'll just need a bit more time to get my mullet going. What's your favorite guitar at $1,000 and $2,000 in the last 18 months? Well, it just sort of depends on where that amount of money is, but a couple of my favorites have been the Vola Oz 22, great guitar. I love my Fender American Original Strat. I don't know how much that is in your part of the world. What else is there? Les Paul Special's really good. The one with the P90s. I really like those. And that's probably about it off the top of my head. Yeah, the heads have been a tougher sale compared to combos. Yeah, no one really wants them, I think. It's just, Yeah, they're a pain. Like when I borrowed was it AC15 head for a review a while back, I was like, man, like it's just, they fill so much space. I would just much prefer not to get a head and box anymore. Krenner says, downsizing is not fun. I can only endorse this idea if you're getting another guitar or two this year. So I'm the opposite. Although it doesn't look like it because I just showed all the guitars on a video recently, man, I'm always getting rid of stuff. I can't let it pile. It's probably different again, different situation, but yeah, I feel like I've got at least 2 or 3 too many guitars at the moment. I'm like, why have I got so many of these things? The less stuff you have, the more you'll practice. It really is like that. Yeah, I don't know. Back in the day, all I played was Strats. I had a couple of Strats, and a 335, but yeah, I don't know. It's changed. But I tell you what, I'm really loving playing the Strat again lately. I've been getting into it. And for those on the live stream, I'll give you a quick sneak peek into the next video that's coming up. I've got it on the floor. What's the difference if I improve the pickups of Esquire Affinity and a Fender Mexico and the option to buy a Court? Oh man, I'm not really sure what your question is. If you're asking, should you upgrade your pickups in those guitars? Same thing I said earlier. You got to know exactly why you don't like them and what you're looking for tonally. There's nothing to stop you getting a great tone out of a Fender Mexican guitar. They're Mexico-made one. They're really good. Can you get better pickups? You can. All I would do to play it safe is go get Fender replacement pickups. Just do that and you'll be laughing. I don't think it's worth upgrading pickups in a Esquire. I would sell the guitar and then get pickups and put them in your Mexico-made one. Yeah, Court CR300s are good too, but you've got to kind of... Yeah, I'm not sure what you're asking me at the end of that question there, mate. Sorry. All right, let me scroll down. Appreciate the answer on that same trip. Settled on a 2-rock combo. Very cool. 2 custom shop Strats and a 10 to 12 pedal rig. Far out. Hope the urge subsides soon. Yeah, I'll fill you in on something. Let's do this. So I put a new pedal board together. I say new pedal board. I just bought a new pedal board, but I didn't buy any new pedals. These are pedals I've had for ages that I've wanted to put to use. Actually, one of these is pretty new, but the rest of them have been sitting around. So rather than stuff sitting in the cupboard, I thought what I'm going to do is put together a great board just for playing my Strat or Telecaster. It doesn't really matter, but I ended up settling on this. It looks huge, right? But I've got a video coming up about this, and I've put a pedal on a board here, this reverb pedal that is epic in the mix. I've never used a reverb pedal in my chain ever. I've always used them as an effects loop thing for an amp with no reverb, but yeah, this video will be coming up pretty soon. So I got a couple of... I can highly recommend checking this out. This is the Jux Overtube. It's based on Stevie Ray's dual tube screamer setup. So you can get like a single gain stage or a stacked gain stage with a bit more bite on the top end. This thing is like the Strat tone. So the point of it is, like, you know, all these pedals later to get the classic blues Strat tone, I went back to a tube screamer. It's crazy. Sometimes the proven stuff is the best stuff. Not everyone can be like Knopfler. Man, you got that right. The guy's a freak. Naturally left-handed, but his dad bought him a righty, so he learned righty. Yeah, there's actually a few guitar players like that out there, but yeah, Knopfler's got the, you know, his touch on guitar is unmatched. It really is. He's just such a virtuoso. All different styles of music, just unbelievable. Mike, thank you, man. It just says, just found your channel a month ago. Thanks for all the great demos and info. Thanks, mate. I appreciate that. Cheers. I don't usually sell guitars, but I'm probably going to have to by spring. Even I have my limits. Oh, see you, T-Ball. Sorry, man, if I missed your message there, mate. I just saw someone say goodbye to you. Take it easy, man. Oh, here it is. Thanks for the hangout, Shane. You too, mate. I'll get back to your email too. Thanks. I appreciate your time there. I'll get back to you. You want to hear T-Ball rock, mate? Go check out his channel. He's a great guitar player, great dude. Hi Shane, I'm having trouble with my two notes torpedo live. The cabs are sounding fizzy. Have you had any issues with yours? I think the only time it sounded a bit weak was on the, if I dimed the clean channel on an amp, it would sound a bit funny. But no, not like fizzy like that. I also use third-party. I've got a few IRs that I've been using for years. The ones that I bought from their shop interface. I can't remember what it's called, but I've been using the dual Swamp Thing one. It's called the Bayou, I think, and that's still the same one I'm using on the Captor Live, or Captor X, I should say. Did it just start going funny, Todd, or was it always weird? It shouldn't really sound fizzy. It should just sound like a great guitar tone in the room. I think the cabs and the mic placement could be part of the problem, possibly. Because some cabs will have a completely different sound to others. Thanks, Janice. I appreciate the kind words. Thank you. I'm trying. I'm trying. Any good recommendations for an octave up pedal? Not one with fuzz, just the octave. Don't need sub or anything. No. I don't really have any recommendations for that, mate. I don't know if there is one that just goes up. You know, I know Donna make a few that have well, you can select them, but you can select up only, but you can't. It still has the down options in other positions, so I don't have a suggestion for you, mate. I'm not sure if there is one. Have you heard, this is from Sawcat, it says, is that how you pronounce that, by the way? Sorry if it's not. Have you heard the new Epiphone Casino made in the USA? It's going to be a pretty exciting release. Would you review it? Man, I'd love to. I still want one. That's the only other guitar I'd buy if one. Oops, sorry, I've just moved my screen here. That's the only other guitar that I would buy if one showed up would be an Epiphone Casino in a lefty that I could test and play beforehand. So yeah, I'd love to try one of them. Jimmy Vaughn plays a Made in Mexico Strat. He loves them. Yeah, they're great. Nothing wrong with them at all. Like my last white one was a Made in Mexico Strat. Things sounded great. What do I think about the G&L Tribute S500 lefty? Don't know if I've tried that one. Let me just have a look. G&L. Oops. Just have a quick look. What do we got? Yeah, you know what? I haven't tried this one, so it looks all right. The new headstock shape's interesting, with the little extra Yeah, I'll put a link in. You can check it out. See if that posts or not. It might block it, even though I posted it. Oh no, it's worked. There we go. Yeah, you know what? I haven't looked into this guitar, but it doesn't look too bad. G&L are good instruments, man. I mean, I had one of their tallies a while back, and I wish I had kept it. All right, we'll take a few more questions, then I'll wrap this up. We'll wrap it up in 9 minutes. Mike, thank you, man. You too. Cheers. Dwayne Allman was lefty. Okay, cool. Baz says you bought the Mark Knopfler Signature Strat this month. It's amazing. I bet. Well done. So, his is the... is that still a current model, or is that, like, discontinued? Because they had that beautiful red Strat of his out years ago. I remember seeing that when I was first getting into guitar. So... the GTA poster is the best thing I've seen all day. Let's try something here. See if this works out. Is this gonna work? All right. Oh, that's not the best. Camera's lopsided. Oh, tripping over stuff. But I've got an amp missing at the moment too. But you can kind of get a sense of what I got going on. Yeah. So the GTA Vice City. I love that game. I'm still a fan all these years later. So that's new. Night of the Demons. I love these Italian horror movies. There's something about them that I've always loved. We've got Miami Connection, which I haven't seen this, but I love the poster and the reviews of it so much. I thought, why not? I got this reprinted as a matte finish one. I used to have this at my old place. That one, just because it's so cool, man. There's another horror movie poster up the top here. And... that's it. That's all that's changed. So I've got there's a few more gloss ones that are going to get reprinted so they don't reflect any light. You can see that, yeah, all of the ones, the one behind the lamp, the Dr. John one, that's still gloss, and the San Francisco and Buddy Guy one I think is, oh, not that Buddy Guy one, sorry, no, that one's alright, but there's a few on the right side of the room that need to be replaced, just so they you don't get any reflections. But yeah, best $2.50 I can spend. Make the room look cool. Or cooler than a boring old room. Yeah, I don't own this place, so you know I can't go drilling into the walls and hanging stuff up and all that kind of thing. Alright, let me scroll down. Up, sorry, hang on. Really want to get my hands on one of those VS Audio Raw flush pedals. They're great. Best overdrive. You know, it's just so good. The reason that's on my board too, it's sort of like, I want to use that board with other guitars than the Strat. But for the Strat, I've got it dialed in. But I can also just plug anything in and go back to the Royal Flush. So, yeah, it's they're fantastic. I love it. Sorry, Janice. Did I miss your comment there? Let me scroll back up. Just add in the blues me if you can, because it's way easier for me to know if I'm getting a question to me or if it's going just in the chat. It's hard for me to keep up with them all. I apologize. Can't find it. No. And it doesn't always show me everybody's comment either. So I don't know why it filters stuff, but it does. It sucks. Was Jimi Hendrix really the greatest blues guitarist? I don't know if he's like, best is subjective to what you like, but I think he created a sound that was unmatched and a type of playing that is still influential till today. So, you know, in many ways, he kind of created something that was completely different. So, I don't think he was the tidiest of blues players out there, but I love what he does with stuff like Little Wing. That kind of that approach to playing is what you hear in lots of other people's playing even now. So, yeah, I mean, he's a beast. They always said, like, I remember reading a quote. I can't remember who said it, but it was like, oh, Clapton's a great blues guitarist. Hendrix is the force of nature. So, yeah. Just a different sort of musicality, and I love Clapton. I think he's a great blues guitarist. But yeah, very different approach between him and Hendrix. It wasn't even close. Hi Shane, my one and only electric guitar is a beginner Esquire Strat. I'm using a GTX 100 and find the clean tones great, but the gain tones a struggle. Is it me or the amp? So yeah, the clean tones on those Fender amps sound way better than the drive ones. What I would do is use the clean channel and set up an overdrive preset on it, and then you'll be laughing. I think they still sound better than using, like, you know, a Marshall or a Boogie preset on that amp. So yeah, put the overdrive pedal preset on your best clean tone, and you should be able to get a good sound. Horror movies, guitars, and GTA. You live a fun life, my man. Yeah, I should grow up at some point, but you know, they say guys don't grow up, we get old. I saw your comment. Oh, cool. That's all right. I'm trying. Whoever was asking about an octave for a fuzz Bigfoot engineering, make a pedal called Octopus. Oh, okay, cool. Passive octave pedal to pair with a fuzz. Well, there you go. Cool. Have I ever tried the Whammy DT? No. Is that red pedal? Is that what that is? Oh, yeah, no, not a chance. No, it's that thing's out of my wheelhouse, man. You know, one of the funniest videos of that till this day is, I think, Gearman Dude's video on it. He pulls it out of the box, and that's exactly how my video would have been. Like, what the hell does this thing do? I'm the wrong player for those type of effects, but yeah, in the right hands, they can be pretty musical. It's just not these hands. Yeah, Josh Smith is great. I don't think he's in my opinion, the best blues player out there, but I think he's great. I think there's a lot of guys that, like, you know, you can look at Chris Kane and Tommy Castro, and man, Chris Kane's got the vocal to match. You know, he's in a league of his own. Yeah, there's so many great players. It's all just comes down to personal choice. Have you ever thought about buying a boutique hand-wired amp like a Morgan or Dr. Z? You know, I nearly bought a Dr. Z a while back. I did buy a Two-Rock years ago. Ended up going back to the Fender amps. You know, funnily enough, I was thinking about buying Rick's Two-Rock off him until I played it, and I didn't like it at all. So it was maybe the setup of how he had it dialed in for his sound, but yeah, it didn't have the projection I was used to. So I'm not at all interested in buying another amp. I don't think boutique amps are any better than how I can get a sound out of my Marshall or Fender amplifier after the speaker replacements. I really don't feel like it's something that I'm ever going to invest in. It's just unless I'm completely and utterly blown away by something, amp-wise now, I got no reason to buy it unless I want to downsize something. Then it puts it into a different spot. But the tones I get out of my Marshall and out of my Fender now, I reckon are the best tones I've ever had. Even after owning hand-wired amps, for me, it doesn't make much difference. What do I play GTA on? I don't play online, so I've got the old versions. Yeah, growing up leads to growing old. You might be right. All right, let's take a couple more here and we'll wrap it up. Amanda, thank you. She says, this has been a great stream. Thanks for this. No worries. Thank you for being a part of it. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for all the comments, questions, super chats, all that kind of stuff. Far out. You guys went crazy today. Thank you. Hopefully I got your question answered. Yeah, there's a lot going on in this. I was reading like a maniac today. I know I probably missed a lot of questions. I don't mean to do that. It's just sometimes I chat all of a sudden goes and I miss a page. So yeah. All right. Jimmy said that Rory Gallagher was the world's best at that time. Yeah, I think Jimmy, he's not going to say, "Oh yeah, I'm the best guitar player in the world." Who says that, right? No one says that. So yeah, he's probably just handballing it off. I don't know anyone who's said that about themselves. Yeah, I'm the greatest. Look at Michael Jordan. He knew he was the best basketball player, bar none, but you never hear him say how great he was. He just showed you what he could do, Steven says, "Hi there from Canada. My amp reverb gives me a tube rattle sound when past 5 when I use a reverb pedal." And my amp reverb gives me a tube rattle sound when past 5 I use a reverb pedal. There are no issues. Yes, I have changed the tubes. It's mono price 15 watt. Did you change the valves with something better, or did you put like the crap ones that come with it back in there? You know what I mean? Like Bugera make good amps and the worst valves that could be in an amplifier in them. You replace them with like JJs or something, and that usually fixes it. But I'm confused by a question. You're saying getting a reverb rattle, but you're using a pedal. I'm not exactly sure what the question is or what your setup is. Is it just the amp reverberating? Possibly. I'm not too sure. When you're trying to diagnose that stuff, you've really got to have almost a second set of hands and ears, because, yeah, it can be a chassis rattle more than it could be a reverb rattle. And some tanks, if it actually has a tank in there, they use crap reverb tanks. Fender made that mistake. They downgraded one year of their Blues Juniors. They put the worst reverb tanks of all time in there, and you'd always get this scratchy trail off at the end. It would go at the end of your note. And then they got rid of those crap tanks and put good ones in the following year. So, yeah, it could be a number of different things. I wouldn't maybe put the amp on it. Chuck it on eBay, mate. Get something else if it's giving you grief. Any advice on mixing audio for YouTube? I've had the experience of being able to mix and record albums for bands that have had airplay here too. So I've had a lot of experience recording. So I try not to do anything to the guitar tracks. So what you hear is what I'm hearing in the room. I could polish them a lot more, but I generally don't. Sometimes I'm guilty of like, oh, damn it, I wish I had reverb, I had delay on that solo. So I'll add something in post. But that's it. I don't change the tone of the track. So if it's a guitar-centric thing, then don't mix the audio more than just panning it. You shouldn't have to do anything more than that. Jacko used to tell everyone that he was the greatest bassist in the world. Wow, what a douchebag. Yeah, everyone loves Josh Smith. He's great, man. But check out him jamming with Jack Pearson. Jack's in another league, man. Oh, they both get in another league. But he can sing. He can sing great. So there's Every Day I Have the Blues jam track with 3 or 4 guys. Jack Pearson, Josh Smith, who's phenomenal. The other dude, I always forget his name. But he's a great guitar player. And Jack's playing his $80 Esquire. And he holds this note for like 12 bars. It's crazy. It's so good. Only rappers and psychos claim to be the best of all time. And boxers. Which might go into psychos, I don't know. Something's wrong with the chains in the tank. Yeah, so inside the reverb tank, sometimes it could be a number of things, right? Like reverb tanks are a pain in the ass. If you've got them locked down too tight, they don't work properly. They need to be loose-ish. A lot of people make the mistake of really tightening them up, and then you'll get more problems. So they should kind of float within like a little bag, little pouch thing on the bottom of the amp. You can, of course, attach them to screws, but they're generally set up in a way where it's not going to put tension on the actual reverb springs themselves. But the reverb springs can make a huge difference. If you really want to invest into it to make it better, try get a Accutronics tank. I would almost put money on it that the tank that's in there will probably be a really short tank. See if you can fit a larger one in there. And they're just RCA cables, right? So you can put the RCA cables generally. Usually, I double check it before buying a new tank, but it's usually a red and a white RCA cable that just plugs in. Then you're good to go. All right. Yeah, a lot of garbage reverb tanks. Same. Peavey were guilty of it for a while too. I had a Peavey that had nothing but problems, and I realized they all had the same problem. All right, time to wrap it up. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate everybody's, spending time hanging out. It's now lunchtime here, so I'm going to go get some food. But, yeah, everybody, appreciate it. I'll try and timestamp some of this. I don't know if I'll do it right now or not, but I'll do it coming up pretty soon. Thank you for all the super chats. It all goes into upgrading stuff on the channel, so thank you. I always try to make that obvious when you see improvements and things that pop up that weren't here before. So it just doesn't go to the beer fund. Or sometimes it goes to the Pepsi Max fund, but it always goes back into the channel. So thank you, everybody. And I'll catch you all in the next one. Probably, I might schedule it up now, actually. I'll schedule it up right after this, because I feel like if I did it ahead of time, more people would show up, and it kind of happened this time. So thank you. And we'll catch you soon. Take care, everybody. I know some places are back in lockdown. So yeah, hope you do all right with that. It's no fun. All right, take care, folks. Catch you soon. See ya.